Hey up everyone, I hope that you're all doing alright. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're building a family home for 8 Sims. I've not done one of these for a while and I wanted to build quite a big home for up to 8 Sims, and that's what we're doing. Like I said, this build is actually as part of a collab that I'm in called the Back to Basics collab, which is hosted and created by my friend Asimsa. I'll put her channel in the description and I'll put all of the other names of people in the collab as well, and the best place you can probably find them is Instagram. I don't know if everybody's got channels, but if you head over to Instagram, you'll be able to see all of the builds and stuff on there, like with the hashtag and everything. I imagine if you put the hashtag into YouTube search, it might come up as well, but don't hold me to that. So yeah, like I said, today we're building a home for 8 Sims. I've not done an 8 Sim family home for a while. I don't think I've built that many of them, to be fair. I think I might have only done like 2, maybe 3 maximum. I might have even only ever done 1 as far as I'm aware, but I have not done that many before. And main reason is because I don't necessarily like building big houses, and I tend to struggle with like floor plans and stuff, so I tend to avoid building like quite big houses. But I thought with this build I would challenge myself a little bit and try and build a big house so that it's got room for 8 Sims. Like I said, I feel like I'm saying that too much, but yeah, it is actually a 4-bedroom house, and each of the rooms can fit like 2 Sims. So the parents' bedroom, obviously 2 parents, and then there's like room for two teenagers, 2 children, and then 2 toddlers. So I've done it kind of like that, where it's like 3 sets of siblings that are the same age. Don't necessarily have to be twins or like that, but that's the idea behind it. And yeah, I really hope that you like how this one turns out. I quite like it. I think the shape of it is quite boring, I'm not gonna lie. It's basically just 2 squares, and then at the front I've got like a bit of a shape thing going on, but not really like that fancy, I guess, in terms of the floor plan and the shape of the build. But I just wanted to make quite basic. I looked at the other builds that are going to be nearby for this one. Well, I looked at one, I couldn't find the other one. I don't know if the person had posted it by the time I started. Basically we're all in like a Discord so we can post our builds and stuff, but the person that built next to mine, it might have been Plumbolina, I'm trying to remember who it is, but I had a quick look at their build just so that I don't build anything that's like too standout-ish, if you know what I mean, because with it being a save file, I kind of wanted to make sure that my build didn't look, I don't know, like it didn't look like it was standing out a bit weird. I wanted it to match the vibe of the world, so I had a look at the people's builds very briefly because I didn't want to like unintentionally copy, but yeah, it is quite different to the build next door, but I think it kind of works, like them being side by side. And yeah, this lot is actually where the pancakes live in Willow Creek. In the save file, I don't know if they're going to be replaced or anything. I think some people are making families, others are not gonna. I'm personally not going to be making a family for the save file just because I've not really got a chance to like get around to it and stuff. I've been like quite busy with other things. And yeah, so if you download the save file and you obviously put it into your world and everything, I don't know like what Sims are going to be living here, so just keep that in mind if you do want to download it as a save file. But obviously if you download it directly from the gallery, then you can put whatever Sims you want here, which is kind of what the house is built for. It's kind of for any type of Sims really. I didn't really have any particular family in mind or anything like that. But I will say that there is space for Sims to work from home if they've got like that sort of job. There's an office. There's also a grand piano in the living room, which I don't often put the grand piano in any of my builds. So maybe it's Sims that are into like more creative career paths, you know, maybe musicians or writers or something like that. Or maybe they just have a piano for whatever reason. They've just got one. They're just rich like that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun putting this one together, although it was quite stressful. The overall shape of it, I think I looked on a couple pictures on Pinterest, but I couldn't really find one that I liked, so I just kind of made it up. Like I didn't really put much thought into it, I just made what made sense. And yeah, it was kind of frustrating, I will say, like I said, just because it took me a while to figure out the landscaping, the floor plan. When I was planning the floor plan and everything, I just couldn't figure out like how many rooms to fit downstairs. When you've got like a big house, I tend to struggle between having lots of rooms or like fewer rooms but like big rooms. So we're kind of struggling with that, but I'm quite happy with how the floor plan turned out. I think it makes sense gameplay wise. You've got lots of space for your Sims to, you know, move about and all that stuff. And yeah, it's I think it turned out pretty well. But yeah, for the interior, I didn't particularly have like anything in mind for the interior. I sort of had a colour scheme. I was going to go for like brighter colours like whites and then have like some pastel colours, but I ended up changing my mind and going with a bit more like browns and earthy tones and stuff like that. I'm not really sure like what really led to that. I guess when I was building the office, I really sort of went back and forth with the colour theme, sorry. What am I trying to say? The colour palette, that's it. I went back and forth with the colour palette, and because the office looked so different to like the kitchen and the hallway and everything, and the bathrooms as well, because I did those off camera, I ended up changing the kitchen. So it starts off as blue, and then I ended up changing the wallpaper to like a browny colour, I think it was. It's like an off brown. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did with it, but yeah, I do change it to being brown. And then obviously we've got the dining room that leads off to the side, which I quite liked that. I were going to, initially when I was doing the floor plan and like the shell of the house, I asked my partner what he thought of it, and I was like, do you think this looks like a conservatory? And he was like, not really, because it's like, it's not really like a proper conservatory. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to have it as. I was going to have it as like a gardening area, but then I'm not really keen on that idea. And then I kind of sat with that idea for a bit, but then as I was planning the build, I eventually thought it'll be a dining room, because the kitchen is quite like a weird shape, it's quite narrow. And when I were planning the build out, I ended up having the dining table in the kitchen, but it all just looked a little bit too cramped. I didn't like the layout, and I thought, well, we've got this like spare room on the back, which like I said, it was going to be like a gardening area or like a greenhouse. I thought, do you know what, we'll have a big dining table, which I'm now realising I need more chairs in the dining table, because if 8 Sims are going to be living here, 6 seats are not enough. But then they also have that breakfast bar, so there's always going to be 2 Sims that might be left out, I guess. But no, I'll probably put some chairs down for like the finished version, but the screenshots and the like the recording and everything, obviously it'll show 6 chairs around the dining table. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the entrance hallway thingy, whatever you want to call it. Kind of struggled with this bit as well. Like I went back and forth on my decisions and what I wanted to do, because it's quite a big space, but it's small in a way that's like you can't really do anything. Like it's purely just going to be decorative, but it's like big that like what are you actually supposed to do with it? You can't really leave it there. It looks a little bit weird if you don't put enough furniture in. So I decided to do this like little corner area where I imagine the Sims store their like coats and outerwear, spare shoes, all that sort of thing. And I wasn't really like happy with it, to be fair. After I did it, I think the idea that I had in my head looked better than what I actually got down in the build, but I ended up keeping it just because I thought it kind of makes sense. It looks alright, I guess. And yeah, this is where I sort of was struggling with like the colour theme and what sort of style I wanted to have. I feel like with base game houses I tend to do the same thing throughout, just because I know what colours I like and I know what pieces of furniture I like, so I tend to just stick with the same ones over and over again. But lately I've been enjoying more like earthy tones and like browns and like deeper shades of brown as well, not just going for like creams and greys and all that sort of stuff. Like I feel like I've been a bit more adventurous lately. But yeah, I were considering as well, because I'm working on my own save file, I were considering having this house in my own save file, but potentially changing it a little bit just to suit the family that I want to have living here. I don't know if it'll be like an 8 Sim family home in my save file. If you didn't know, I'm working on my own save file for Willow Creek, and yeah, I kind of thought maybe this house would suit here, because it kind of matches the house that's next door, kind of, in a way. Not really, I don't know, it kind of does in my opinion, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I want to like do another build and build something different. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, but it's an idea, I guess. It made my life easier for the sake of the save file. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the office. I wanted to have an office in the house just because I think it's an easy sort of room to have, or like a library or a study or whatever you want to call it. It's like an easier room to have in it when you're playing my base game and you're building a base game, because we don't have a lot of items. I feel like I tend to either make a home gym, an artist studio, or like a study with like desk and computer and all that sort of thing. So I decided to go with like an office, and I never really used that really square rug from, I'm trying to think of what pack it's from. It's Base Game, but it's like a square rug. I never really clicked through it, and I didn't know we had this like green swatch, and my eyes were really drawn to that because it's like one of my favourite colours. So I decided to change it, and then I ended up settling on the wallpaper, which I also change a little bit as well. I think it was a bit too like dark academia vibes. I really liked it, but it weren't really matching with what I wanted to do for the build. So I ended up going with like a white wallpaper in here, and the white, like, I don't know if it's called moulding or what it's called. You know, that like paneling. I guess it's just paneling, isn't it? But yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention actually while I'm thinking about it before I forget, I'm doing a poll on the community tab regarding the Not So Berry challenge. I'm actually going to be restarting that next week. It's been a long time coming. If you didn't know, I initially started that off as a Let's Play. Well, that's a lie actually. I started streaming it on Twitch, and then I kind of got sick of playing it on Twitch. I didn't really like the live stream format on there. Something about it, I don't know, I just felt odd. Didn't really like it. And then I decided to make it into a Let's Play. So I started over, did the Let's Play. I think I did like 3 episodes of it. And then I thought, this is too much. I had way too much going on. I like kind of overloaded myself with all these different projects that I was working on. I had like a tiny house week that I'd planned. I had save file planned. There were another video that I was going to do that I'd been working on for months, and I ended up just scrapping it because all of the footage and like the way that I scripted the video, I just hated it. It just seemed, I don't even know like how to explain it without revealing what it was about, because it might be something that I revisit later on, but I didn't like it, and I was putting all this effort into this like video that I didn't even like the idea of, and then the Not So Berry challenge was in the back of my head. Oh, I have to sit and record that, and then I had like collabs, and then it was the 6-week holidays, and it was just like, oh my god, this is too much. So I ended up cancelling the Let's Play, and I did a poll on my community tab asking people whether they wanted to either just cancel it altogether, stream it on Twitch, continue it, or stream it on YouTube. I think those were the options, and streaming it on YouTube were the thing that won, obviously, which is why I'm mentioning it. And I'm a bit nervous about it because I've never live streamed on YouTube before. Obviously I stream on Twitch, but I'm actually having a break from that at the minute, just because, like I said, a lot of live stuff's getting in the way. Not getting in the way, but I'm preoccupied with a lot of life like things going on. I wasn't sure if I wanted to like mention this or not, but I think yeah, I think I will. I don't know, it's one of those things that, like, I guess it's like that you talk about in a YouTube video. Once it's out there, you can't really take it back. But another thing that I've been struggling with over the past few weeks is like mental health stuff, and yeah, it's been a bit shit, to be honest. It's not really something that I wanted to like avoid talking about, but I don't know. The thing is, I don't want to talk about like sad things in my videos because I don't want to make anybody else that's struggling with those things feel worse. Like, I personally like watching YouTube videos, and always have really since I was like really young, because it's like an escape. It's like something that I do to like be entertained by, and also to have my mind taken off stuff that might be bothering me. Or, you know, maybe I've got a big bill coming out of my bank, and I think, oh, I'll go watch a YouTube video, take my mind off it. Or, I don't know, I'm on a train and I'm overwhelmed by all the noise, so I'll go watch a YouTube video and it'll distract me and stuff like that. And also, I don't have a lot of friends and stuff, and I never really have, and I don't really like socialise that much, and YouTube for me has always been a thing where I can go and watch like a video and I feel like I'm hanging out with a friend, which I get that that's like a very like parasocial thing, and that's just how it is. I don't know, like it's just something that I don't want to like talk about it, and people are like, oh fucking hell, another thing about mental health, and I'm already struggling, do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, it's like, well, if there's people watching my channel that have their own struggles, maybe it helps to like hear somebody else talk about it. I don't know, it's a very like weird grey area in it, like you don't really know what to do for the best. But I guess I could try and have a medium, like see if I could like talk about it briefly, but then not like fixate on it. I don't know, that's the thing, like I don't really know how to talk about it. And also, like, growing up, I had a lot of like different mental health struggles, and when I would ever speak about it, it would get shut down or dismissed, or, you know, I'd be encouraged to not speak about it. So I also have that issue that I still carry with me even as an adult. So I don't know, but basically I've recently been put on antidepressants by my doctor. When I say recently, I mean like a few days ago, so they're not like affecting me or like that yet. But that's like a big thing for me to, I guess, like do to go and ask for help and stuff, because I've never really like done that before. Apart from when I was like going for my autism assessment and all that sort of thing, I never really like talked about mental health stuff to a professional and stuff. Not really. I mean, I also have PTSD, so I've talked about like that side of it, but I didn't specifically go looking for PTSD support. I had counselling, and then through counselling I was referred like somewhere else, and then it was like, oh yeah, you've got PTSD, that's why you're struggling. But this is like an unrelated thing. Like, I'm struggling with like feeling sad and feeling down all the time, but I don't really know why. And I said to the doctor, he was like, has anything happened in your life? And I was just like, no, like everything's all right. Like, yeah, some days are a bit shit, and you know, life things happen. I'm a bit stressed with money because cost of living crisis, and you know, there's daily sort of things that happen, I guess, but not enough that I don't enjoy things anymore, and that I don't feel like happy about anything, or like I'm not looking forward to anything. Like, I feel like this feeling's just not going away, and I don't really know what it is. And he was like, that's okay. It sounds like you have depression. So I'm gonna, you know, we'll speak in a few weeks' time. I'll give you these antidepressants, whatever. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit hopeful. I'm feeling a bit like, well, at least something's happening, and hopefully they work and help. Because that's the thing, like, it's not like there's a cause behind it, really. Like, it's not like somebody's passed away in my family, or I've gone through an awful thing, like, recently. So I don't really know what's causing it, but my God, it has been difficult. So that was another thing that halted the not so berry thing. I think that was when it was sort of brewing. Like, I weren't fully there. Like, I weren't like, oh my God, I can't cope. It was just sort of like, there was like bubbles, little depression bubbles, just bubbling away slightly. Barely noticed them, but it were enough for me to not have the motivation to put effort into doing a Let's Play. Because unlike making speed builds, Let's Plays take a lot more like thought behind them. And I don't know, like, it's a new thing that I did as well, so I didn't really know how to structure the Let's Play. I didn't really know how to like plan it. You know, some people's Let's Plays are more scripted. I didn't really want it to be scripted. I wanted it to feel like natural gameplay. So I don't know, like, it's a big learning curve for me as well. So there's a lot of factors going into it. Basically, it's a very convoluted and long story. But long story long, essentially I put up a poll asking about what days people wanted me to stream the Not So Berry Challenge, and I'm pretty sure, let me double check it, but I'm pretty sure a Saturday one. So let me just double check, because oh my God, I do not know how to I could pause recording the voiceover and check, but nope. So yeah, Saturday got 52% of the vote, which is quite a lot actually, 52%, so a strong winner. So next Saturday, I'm going to be streaming it from 2 PM, I think 2 PM UK time. So if you're interested in that, then obviously feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to vote on the poll and you don't want the Saturday, you can go vote on it if you want, but I think that's pretty much the decided day. And yeah, I'm excited to return to it, and because it's a live stream, it's a lot less like, I don't know, I did enjoy streaming it when I was streaming it on Twitch, but I also enjoyed the Let's Play side of it as well, because I like the finished result of a video, whereas the live stream, it's a bit more like there's a lot of boring stuff happening, especially Generation 1. The Generation 1 are Not So Berry, the scientist career, oh my God, I hate the get to work careers. Well, I've only really done the doctor one a little bit, and I've only done bits of them. I've never completed them because they're boring is basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's happening. That were a long-winded way of saying it got delayed, but now it's back, and I'm going to be doing the Not So Berry Challenge. So if you're interested in that, Saturday 2 PM UK time. I will try not to cancel it. I am committing myself to it. It's why I'm mentioning it, because I have a bad habit of cancelling streams because of various different reasons, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm very nervous about it because I've never streamed on YouTube, so I'm gonna plan that and what that's gonna look like for me, and how different it is to Twitch. I want to watch some videos on how different it is. I mean, I can't imagine it's that different, but I'm not sure. It's got to be different, hasn't it? Otherwise, why would there be people that prefer one over the other. But either way, that's going to be happening. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to speak to people directly, because with Twitch, like I'm talking to my Twitch audience, and I don't always know the crossover between like YouTube audience and Twitch audience. So if you're about and you want to pop in and say hello while I'm live, feel free to do that. You don't have to stay and watch the whole thing. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go back to talking about this build now, because I've waffled on about unrelated things. But yeah, we've kind of done. I did the living room last because I were kind of struggling with the layout and everything. I didn't really know where I wanted everything. But I decided to put in a what's it called? Not a chimney, a fireplace in here, which has now made me think I should put a chimney because I forgot to build one. And even though it's not necessary, it kind of is at the same time. So maybe I'll put in a chimney before I upload it to gallery and the save file and everything. But yeah, this is where I decided to put in the grand piano because I didn't really know what else to put in this corner, and I thought I never placed the grand piano, so let's just put it in. And yeah, I quite like how it looks, to be fair. Like, it's a bit of a weird room, but I quite liked it. And then yeah, I've done all the bedrooms and everything, haven't I? I think my favourite bedroom is probably the parents' bedroom. I like the colour scheme of it. I've really got a thing for like greens and stuff, and like sage green, and there's like a hint of that in their bedroom with that bed that I use, and obviously the rug and everything. And yeah, and then we'll be moving on to the back garden pretty soon. The back garden, I don't really like how it turned out. I don't like what I did with it that much. I think it's just kind of boring. Like, it's quite a decent size. Like, it's not that it's too small or anything, but I don't know. I weren't like that happy with it. I think it does its job. Like, it'll do. Like, it's not the most interesting, amazing back garden ever, but yeah, I feel like more and more lately my back gardens just look lazy. Like, I just can't be bothered to do anything with them. But they're always something that I struggle with. Like, they're one of my biggest like weaknesses with building, because I'm not very good at the layout of them, because usually it's just like a big square and I don't really know how to like divide them up into sections. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not very good at them, but I'll work on it. I'll try my best, but I'm not promising out. Everybody has a weakness, don't they? Everybody has a flaw that they're not that good at. Mine's back gardens, and in my opinion, I think gardens in general, like the front gardens of my builds, are normally a little bit boring as well, but it is what it is. It don't really matter. But yeah, anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up the voiceover now, and I'll leave you with the rest of the video and the screenshots. And like I said, if you want to check out the other builds by the other creators, I definitely recommend that you do so. There's some really nice builds. I especially love the ones that are in Oasis Springs. I kind of wish that I picked a build for Oasis Springs now, but be right, I've done this one now and I'm happy with it, so that's fine. But yeah, if you do want to download the save file, I don't think it's ready yet. When it is ready, check the description of this video or check my Instagram. No, don't check my Instagram. I'll probably put it in a pinned comment. Yeah, I'll put it in the pinned comment to this video when it's ready, and it'll be in the description as well. It's kind of awkward when the video goes up before the speed build is ready, because I've got to then remember to put the link to this video, no, the link to the save file in this video. But yeah, I'll sort it, it'll be right. There's been times where I've been part of a collab and it's been for a save file and I forgot to link it in the description, so I will try to remember that. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and listening to me rant on, and if you did enjoy watching it, feel free to leave a like on the video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I hope that you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye!